With OpenRoads, I can create 3D boreholes directly from my Ghent database and visualize them in my design. Then I can actually view the stratum properties directly by just simply selecting them and looking at them in the element information dialog. And finally, if I want to, I can create subsurface terrains from that borehole information, which I can then use for targeted modeling, for example rock benching, or for earthwork calculations. So I've got a quick example of this. Here I'm in a file called Geotech. It's just a blank file. And I'm going to reference in my interchange design that I have been working on. So let's just say you can see I've got my terrain. I've started designing some of my roads and ramps. You can see some of my bridges are missing. They're being designed by my bridge group. I hadn't got them back yet. And I get some information that my Geotech is ready. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my Geotechnical workflow, and I'm going to connect up directly to the Ghent database. I'm just going to point to that Ghent database and just say OK, and it's going to process and read in all the boreholes for that. I'm also going to point to a library that'll be used to control my visualization. Now there's a lot of other settings and tools and things that we could do here, but I'm just going to say OK, and then I'm going to go back over up to my toolbar, and I'm just going to say query all. And when I do that, you'll see all of my borehole information there from the database, and I'm going to click on retrieve, and what it'll do is it'll automatically plot my boreholes into my 3D model. Okay, and you can see as I rotate around there, they are in 3D. If I want to annotate those, I've got some annotate tools here that I can use, so I'll just data point to do some annotation there. And if I zoom in, you can see the name of each borehole and then the different strata for each borehole as well. Now I mentioned earlier that we could look at each one of those strata just by selecting them and viewing them in the properties or the element information dialog, which you can see there. Now there was one other final thing that I said we could do, and that is we could create subsurfaces from the different strata if we wanted to do that. So let me just show you how that works. So I'm going to go back to the reference file. Let's just turn off all of our reference files here, and just so that we can just see the borehole information, so we can see what's going to happen here. And so we'll move that over. So I'm going to go back up into my my Ghent tools here. I'm going to go under 3D modeling, and I'm going to say create terrain. Now under the create terrain, you can see here it gives me a list of all the different strata that it finds in the file. So I'm going to pick the USCS silt. Okay, I'm going to tell it to use all the boreholes and just hit a data point, and it's going to create a subsurface terrain from that silt strata or that silt layer. And then, as I mentioned, I could model against this, I could use it for earthworks, whatever the case may be. So this is just one more example of integrating different areas, different disciplines, being able to see it directly in my model, but not only see it, actually use the data as well.